Hello and welcome to the 25th video in the PHP e-commerce series. My name is Curtis and this is Free Skills. Well, in this video we're going to go ahead and finish up our page that displays products by category. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is head over to our navigation.php, and right here in our drop down of our child elements we need to get rid of this hash, and we need to pass it in category.php, and we'll give it a variable of cat, short for category, equals, and then what we want to do here is we want to echo child, and then we want to grab the ID. Okay, so now we'll save that. We'll refresh the page. Now these have links of their categories, and it goes by the child category. So if I just pick one of these, I'm going to pick women shoes. Well, it says that's not found. We got a 404, so let's go ahead and take care of that really quick. Right here in the root of my project, I'm going to create a new file and call it category.php. And then what we're going to do is take all of the index.php and we're going to copy it to category. Okay? Then what we want to do is we want to basically here at the top we want to grab the ID. So we're going to say if is set $_get cat. Okay, if that's set, then what we want to do is we want to cat ID is equal to sanitize $_get cat. Okay, and then we're going to say else we'll just say cat ID is equal to a blank string. Okay, then what we want to do is, so then right here with this SQL statement, what we want to do is select all from products, and then instead of featured we want to say where categories is equal to, and then we're going to pass it that cat ID. Okay, and this is going to give us, we'll get rid of the featured right here, and we're going to say product Q. And then all we need to do is pass right here where this featured is, we need to change that to product Q. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Refresh the page now, and now you can see that with category 11 here I only have my women's shoes. And I could go and check all of these, and as long as I have something in the category, it's going to pull just those products. So I don't have anything in men's yet, so it's not showing anything up. Girls, yeah, I got one. So we can tell already that this is working, and the modal will work just fine, so we don't have to do too much work there. The one thing though is I don't want to say featured products here. What I want to do is I want to show you guys something, and we need to grab the category, and we need to know its parent, and we need to also know the child, and we want to know the category name and the IDs of each. So far in this series I've shown you guys to make multiple queries to the database. One, to grab the child. We'll do like a select all from categories where, you know, ID is equal to child ID that we passed in, and then we'll do another query once we have its parent and grab that. Now we're making two database queries to grab some information, and that's not really ideal. That's going to make the application run a little bit slower than it needs to, and you're accessing the database more times than you need. And the reason I did that was to try to avoid getting into complex SQL statements. But I'm going to show you an SQL statement that we can join information together with relationship to one another. And the best way to show you this is to go ahead and jump into localhost here, the localhost PHP MyAdmin. And if I go to SQL, what we can do is, well, let's just look at our categories table. What we have is an ID category, and then we have category names, and then we have a parent. And these parent IDs match up with these IDs. So usually when you do relationships between tables, you do relationship between one table and another. But you can also do relationships in the same table. And so I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. One of the easiest ways to do that, to show it, is just to run a raw SQL here. So if I just click on the SQL tab, I want to show you what this looks like. So if I say select, and now I can start grabbing what I want to select. Okay, so first let's grab PID for parent, and then we'll say as, and then we're going to call that just PID. Okay, and then we'll do comma, and then we'll grab p.category, and we'll give that an alias as well, and we'll just call that parent. Okay, we'll do a comma, and then we'll grab c.id as CID, and then we'll do one more, and we'll grab the c.category, and we'll give that an alias of child. Okay, so this is what I'm selecting. Okay, and then the next step that I need to do is say, where are we selecting it from? Well, we're going to select this from categories C. Okay, and that's going to grab this right here. So then what I need to do is say inner join. Now this is going to join, this is like a simple join, and it's going to grab all rows from each where the join it equates to true. So we're going to inner join. Well, what are we going to inner join? We're going to inner join, instead of another table, categories P this time. Okay, and what we're going to say is inner join, and then we say on, and then we can say C dot parent equals P dot ID. So what that's going to do is grab the child parent is equal the parent ID. It'll join those. Okay. Okay. So let's take a look at that really quick. And you can see what it did here is it grabbed PID and parent, and then the CID and child. So we got men shirts, men pants, men shoes, men accessories. So it's kind of built a new table for us, and now we know the parent and the child, and we know those IDs in each row. So then we can pass that. Let me close this real quick. We can actually, I'm going to go up and edit that. So here's my statement here, and we can also give it where statements now, or like conditionals. So now I can say where, and I can say where C.ID is equal to 11. And when I do that, it's going to return one row. And that one row, now that CID is 11, is going to return women shoes. And that's exactly the kind of functionality that we want. So what I want to do, since I've built this up now, and this is valid SQL and it works, I'm just going to copy all that. I want to go ahead and add to the helpers file. And I'm going to add a function to the helpers file. And we're going to say function, and we're going to call it get category. Okay? And what we're going to pass it is the child ID. Okay? First of all, we need to make our database variable, our object, global. So let's say global DB. Alright? And then we're going to sanitize our child ID, so we can just say ID equals sanitize okay, child ID. Okay, then now that we have this ID here, this is the child ID and it's been sanitized. So what I can do then is build our SQL. So we can say SQL equals, and then we'll do our double quotes like normal. But right there, I'm going to paste in our SQL statement that we built in just a little bit ago. So I'm going to build this up here. Okay. Oops. And then right here, this where it says where CID equals 11, we want to get rid of that 11, and we're going to pass it in our ID. Okay. So we're going to build. We're basically build with this select statement. We're kind of rebuilding the table to what we want. We're assigning new categories basically, or columns, and those are these aliases that we selected here. So then what I can do is I can go ahead and query this. So I can say query equals db query, and then we'll pass it in that SQL statement. Okay. Then what we want to do is we're going to say category now is equal to MySQLi fetch associative array, and we'll pass it in that query. Okay, so if I look back at the database now, it's going to pass this if I'm passing an 11. Okay, and so what I'm going to get back from the associative array is this PID as an index of 2, parent as an index, and it'll say women, CID of 11, and child will be shoes. So what's cool about this now is I can actually just return category. Okay, so that function's done now, and it'll return this array. So now in my category .php up here under product queue, I can just say category is equal to get underscore category, which is the name of our function. Okay, and what are we going to pass in? Well, we need to pass in the cat ID right there. Okay, so we have access to that already. So from our get variables. So now category is the array. So if I just do a var dump now, we'll say var dump, and I'm going to say category. Okay. If I refresh the page, now I have an array, and it has 4 elements. And remember, now we have these indexes, the PID, parent, CID, and child, and those are equal to parent. Well, this parent is women, and then child is shirts. So what I can do now, since I have this category array, is get rid of this var dump. We don't want that. But now, right here where it says featured products, I'm going to get rid of all of that, and I'm just going to echo out category, and we can say parent, and then I'm going to concatenate on just a space, so a string with a character space in there, and then I'm going to concatenate on category child. Okay, oops, and then close my PHP echo there, and if I refresh the page now, we have women's shirts. So now whatever I go to, like women's shoes, now we have women's shoes, and we have the correct products there. And it doesn't matter what we go to, this is dynamic, and our products are pulling directly from that. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. You might have to go back and watch the video a few times if you don't understand the SQL statement that we made right here. Anyways, go back and watch that part again if you don't understand, and you can do some independent study. But for now, we know that this helper, our function that we put in here, this get category, we can use anywhere in our application now. We only have to tell it the child ID, which we always have every time we pull the category or we pull a product, we have that categories, so we can just pass it that. And then it's going to return an array of all of the category things that we need, like the parent, child, and the IDs of the parent and child. Okay, so that's enough time spent on that. What I want to do is I want to not have this entire thing here. I want it to look more kind of like this, with just a small header at the top for this other page. So what we're going to do is inside of our inside of our includes, we are going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it header partial, okay, .php. Alright, and what I'm going to do is open header full, and I'm going to copy all of that and go to header partial and paste it. Okay, not too much has changed yet, but what I want to do is change these IDs a little bit. Okay, and what I mean by that is I'm going to put the word partial before each one of these, so that I can target these differently with my CSS. Okay. Okay. So then in our categories now, up at the top, instead of including our header full, we're going to include our header partial.php. We can close our header full now. We can close navigation. We don't need that. What I'm going to open next is in the CSS, we'll open main.css. And I'm going to copy everything, the back flower, fore flower, logo text, and header wrapper. And I'm going to go below those, and I'm going to paste them all. And I'm going to add partial in front of each one, so that I can change the CSS settings here. Okay. Alright. So what I want to do on the partial header wrapper, I don't want it to be 600 pixels tall. Rather, let's put it at 200. My numpad is being all crazy. Alright, so we'll make the height 250, and then let's take a look at that really quickly. Refresh the page. Let's go and make that just a little bit smaller. Let's make that 210. See what that looks like. Okay, that's more like it. Okay, and I want to bring our flowers up into view a little bit. So back on the main CSS, on the fore flower, instead of the top being at 525, let's try 100 pixels from the top and see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Just barely starting to cover that. And then let's look at the background flower and change the top of that to be 150. See what that looks like. We can do better. Let's try 75. Okay. So now we kind of have this partial header image, and we didn't have to create a new image. We simply just had to change the CSS properties of some of this. So now on our categories pages, you know, we can instantly see some product, as opposed to on our front page, we can see our featured images, but it starts with a full page layout like this. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. So now our categories are all dynamic and they are working. So it would be a good idea to go back through the code and change all the instances that we've made 2 database calls when we didn't need to. Now that we've created that helpers function, of this get category. You can use that function anywhere that we used the method of grabbing using two separate database connects and everything like that in the previous videos. Anyways, if you like this video, please comment, like, and share, and subscribe, or do one of those. It's up to you. But anyways, I've really appreciated everyone who's followed along. I didn't imagine at all that as many people would be following along with this course as there are. And so I'll continue to try to put these videos out as quickly as possible, but I really didn't expect too many people to find this until I was completely done. But anyways, I thank you guys. Thank you for everyone who's subscribing. Thank you for everyone who's commenting and liking and sharing. It's been pretty fun, and I'm going to continue to work on this. And in the next video, well, I really haven't decided what I'm going to do in the next video. I'm either going to continue with making some filters to filter products even further, maybe by brand and things like that, or we're going to get started on the shopping cart. So either the next video or the video after, we will get started on the shopping cart and actually start working on accepting credit card payments. So alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy your nights.